the United States is poised to field a bomber that sits decades ahead of any competitor. As Russia holds on to Cold War hardware and China sprints to close the gap, America prepares to roll out something truly new. The B-21 Raider isn't just another stealth jet. It's built to end a 70-year dilemma, the trade-offs that hobbled every U.S. bomber since the Cold War. One aircraft promises reach without soft spots, stealth without a ruinous price tag, and the flexibility to face wars we can't even picture yet. So how does a single platform rewrite 70 years of strategic air power? For 7 decades, U.S. intercontinental bombers ruled the sky, but each carried painful trade-offs. The B-52 Stratofortress owned the 1950s global reach. Huge payloads, but that 185 feet wingspan lights up on radar. Some airframes are literally older than their pilots' grandfathers. The B-58 Hustler brought supersonic speed, yet it only served from 1960 to 1970. Built to dash at up to Mach 2 over the Soviet Union, it met a new reality: surface-to-air missiles. The Delta Wing hot rod got pushed down low, skimming terrain to survive, and it was tied to a nuclear-only mission. Thankfully, the Hustler never went to war. The F-1 fighter bomber family, born in the 1960s, ran into serious issues, engine inlet stalls, and unproven tech. Yet for the U.S. Air Force, the F-1's low-level, high-speed profile, with a big payload reaching about 4,200 miles, still worked. Variants handled strategic nuclear roles and precision strikes, with an infrared pod that could also laze targets. The FB-1 bowed out in the 1990s. The B-1B Lancer promised supersonic penetration in the 1980s, using swing wings and afterburning engines. But arms control treaties trimmed its nuclear mission, leaving a costly conventional bomber with demanding maintenance. Then came the B-2 Spirit Stealth on a new level, practically invisible to radar. The catch? Each jet carried a price tag north of $2 billion. Only 21 rolled off the line, and they needed specialized climate-controlled hangars, plus non-stop coating upkeep. From the B-52's range, to the B-1's speed, to the B-2's stealth, every bomber traded survivability against cost. The B-21 aims to be the first truly optimized design since World War II. Blending those strengths, each solved a problem and introduced another. Range versus payload, speed versus stealth, capability versus cost. Those trade-offs forged the B-21's edge. This evolution reflects a deeper shift in strategic thinking, as the U.S. Air Force sought to break free from the constraints of legacy platforms. The B-21's development began with a clear mandate: create a bomber that could operate in contested environments, deliver decisive effects, and remain affordable enough to field in significant numbers. Unlike its predecessors, which often required retrofitting or doctrinal shifts to address emerging threats, the B-21 was designed with future-proofing in mind. Its open architecture allows for rapid integration of new technologies, ensuring it can evolve as threats change. This adaptability is critical in an era where adversaries are deploying increasingly sophisticated air defenses, from advanced radar systems to hypersonic weapons. In Palmdale, California, the B-21 Raider rolls out of its hangar. This wasn't a routine reveal. It marked the first truly scalable stealth bomber ever, and the timeline of milestones unfolded like this. It rolled out on December 2, 2022. The first flight followed on November 10, 2023. A second test airframe appeared on September 11, 2025. Low-rate initial production won approval in January 2024, with roughly 2 sorties a week. Named for the Doolittle Raiders, the B-21 was built from day one for scale. Where the B-2 was a technological marvel boxed in by cost, the B-21 tackles the core equation: top-tier capability at a manageable price. The Air Force didn't want just another bomber. They wanted one that could pierce the most advanced Chinese and Russian air defenses, operate worldwide without forward bases, and do it at a cost that supports real fleet size. This focus on scalability marks a departure from the B-2's boutique production model. The B-2's astronomical costs limited its fleet to just 21 aircraft, restricting its operational flexibility. In contrast, the B-21's production strategy leverages mature technologies and streamlined manufacturing processes to drive down costs. Northrop Grumman, the prime contractor, has emphasized modularity in the design, allowing for easier upgrades and maintenance. This approach not only reduces the per-unit cost, but also ensures the Air Force can field a fleet large enough to meet global commitments. B-21's ability to operate without forward basing further enhances its strategic value, enabling launches from secure U.S. bases to strike targets anywhere in the world, reducing reliance on vulnerable overseas infrastructure. But the real magic isn't what you notice, it's what stays hidden. The B-21's stealth outpaces anything to date, using advanced techniques that lead many analysts to judge its radar cross-section smaller than the B-2's. Core strengths: stealth and multispectral signature suppression across the radar spectrum. Range on par with or beyond the B-2's 6,000 nautical miles for global sorties. Payload near 30,000 pounds, tuned for precision rather than mass. Adaptability: open mission systems allow fast software and hardware refresh. Less labor-intensive stealth coatings trim upkeep versus the B-2, while Pratt & Whitney power plants remain classified. Those engines have their thermal signature shrouded by refinements over the B-2's layout, weapons integration, and mission profile. The B-21's stealth technology represents a leap forward, building on decades of research into low-observable materials and design. Unlike the B-2, which required frequent and costly maintenance to preserve its stealth characteristics, the B-21 incorporates next-generation coatings that are more durable and less labor-intensive. These advancements reduce downtime and lower lifecycle costs, making the platform more sustainable over its projected decades-long service life. The classified Pratt & Whitney engines are designed to minimize infrared signatures, a critical factor in evading modern infrared-guided missiles. This multispectral stealth approach covering radar, infrared, and other detection methods ensures the B-21 remains elusive even against the most advanced air defense systems. The B-21 fields the AGM, 181 LRSO, and B-6112, divided by B-6113 nuclear options, plus a wide set of conventional standoff and direct attack munitions such as JDAMs with potential for uncrewed operations. And this goes beyond hardware tweaks. Connectivity is the real game changer. The B-21 won't fight alone. It's built to team with drones, fuse sensor feeds from many sources, and push data across multi-domain forces. Picture a B-21 nearing dense air defenses linked to satellites, crewed aircraft, ground nodes, and uncrewed systems. It ingests threat data in real time and syncs with friendly forces. Doctrine is shifting. Beyond bombing, the B-21 functions as a nuclear deterrent, a precision strike platform, and a networked battle manager, recasting bombers as multi-domain hubs. This isn't just an airframe, it's a node plugged into a broader combat network. This networked approach fundamentally redefines the role of strategic bombers. The B-21's ability to integrate with unmanned systems, such as loyal wingman drones, allows it to extend its sensor reach and strike capacity without exposing itself to additional risk. By acting as a data hub, it can coordinate with assets across air, space, and ground domains, creating a seamless flow of information that enhances situational awareness and decision-making. This connectivity enables the B-21 to serve as a force multiplier, amplifying the effectiveness of other platforms in the battle space. For example, it can relay targeting data to hypersonic missiles launched from other aircraft or direct drones to engage secondary targets, all while remaining undetected. Enemy air defense chiefs aren't up against a single stealth jet. They're staring down a coordinated kill web that evolves faster than their reactions. Here's how it beats every challenger. Against Russia's S-400 and S-500 SAM networks, legacy aircraft enter lethal zones. The B-21's advanced signature management blocks consistent tracking and weapon queuing. Russian operators sense an intruder, yet can't secure a dependable firing solution. China poses a more intricate test. The People's Liberation Army has built layered defenses engineered to blunt American air power via anti-access tactics, leaning on massed missiles and dense sensor grids. The B-21 sidesteps that architecture by staying effectively unseen until weapons are on the way. Deterrent psychology. Nuclear ambiguity drives adversaries into hesitation, magnifying its psychological bite. Do they escalate against what could be a conventional strike? Or hold back in case it's nuclear? That ambiguity jams decision-making. By the time they sort the threat, it's already too late. This psychological edge is a cornerstone of the B-21's strategic impact. By maintaining ambiguity about its payload, conventional or nuclear, the B-21 forces adversaries to second-guess their responses, creating a window of opportunity for U.S. forces to achieve their objectives. This uncertainty is particularly potent in high-stakes scenarios, where the risk of escalation could deter an adversary from engaging at all. The B-21's ability to penetrate deep into contested airspace and deliver precision strikes further amplifies this effect, as adversaries must contend with the possibility of devastating attacks from an unseen platform. Russia's bomber fleet is still anchored to Cold War blueprints. The Tu-160M traces to 1980s design DNA, while the PAC-D is bogged down by sanctions and the human and material costs of the war in Ukraine. Their most capable in-service bomber is, at heart, a decades-old airframe with updated avionics, fast and able to haul huge loads, but not low observable. China's H-20 remains unfielded, aiming at 1990s-era stealth and trailing the B-21's operational test pace. Bottom line, the tech gap is wide. Neither Russia nor China has shown the advanced materials science for true next-gen stealth. Global competition has become a three-way sprint. Russia's delayed PAK-DA and China's H-20 Chase B-2 stealth, but the B-21 scalability potentially up to 175 jets sets a pace no one matches. As America refines the platform, manufacturing realities still bite. Bottom line on cost, about $692 million per aircraft. That figure is in 2022 dollars, and the first 5 production lots were trimmed by 28%, dropping from $19.1 billion to $13.8 billion. In 2024, Northrop Grumman recorded a $1.2 billion charge tied to production adjustments and pricier materials. As for fleet and basing, the Air Force targets at least 100 B-21s, while senior leadership argues for roughly 145 to 175 aircraft, subject to budgets and strategy. Ellsworth AFB will stand up the first operational squadron. Next, come Whiteman and Dias for training and alert roles. Industry and politics. Northrop Grumman, outpacing Boeing and Lockheed, leads B-21 production with partners like Pratt & Whitney. The catch: congressional budget scrutiny, as with the B-2, could ultimately cap the fleet size. Borrowing lessons from the B-2 era, the build plan leans on proven tech and standardized production lines. Yet the strategic ripple effects are huge. The production challenges, while significant, are mitigated by lessons learned from previous programs. The B-2's high costs and limited production run highlighted the need for a more cost-effective approach, which the B-21 addresses through standardized manufacturing and a focus on mature technologies. However, rising material costs and production adjustments, as evidenced by Northrop Grumman's 2024 charge, underscore the complexity of building a next-generation bomber. Congressional oversight remains a wild card, as budget constraints could limit the fleet size, potentially affecting the Air Force's ability to project power globally. Despite these hurdles, the B-21's strategic impact is undeniable, as it enables the U.S. to maintain a decisive edge in air power for decades. B-21 reshapes planning for friends and foes alike. In force structure, B-21 plus B-52 becomes a two-aircraft fleet as B-1s and B-2s retire. B-21s push into contested airspace, while B-52s execute standoff strikes, drawing on Ellsworth, Whiteman, and Dyess as hubs for Indo-Pacific operations. In that theater, the B-21's ability to launch from secure CONUS bases and hit targets across the Western Pacific is strategically decisive. Allied reliance. Unlike the F-35's worldwide exports, the B-21's sensitive tech won't be released, boosting U.S. deterrence while potentially complicating NATO and Pacific partner interoperability. Its nuclear mission helps keep America's strategic deterrent credible against ever more sophisticated threats. However, the B-21 still faces major hurdles: schedule and risk. It aims for initial operational capability in 2027, with limited 2026 deployment possible. Much remains classified, complicating full evaluations. Stealth remains labor-intensive to sustain, requiring specialized infrastructure and highly skilled maintainers. Sustaining mission readiness will strain Air Force logistics. Beyond dollars, counter-stealth sensors, hypersonic interceptors, and AI-enabled sensor fusion erode any stealth edge, demanding continuous upgrades to stay ahead. The B-21's ability to adapt to emerging threats is a key strength. Advances in counter-stealth technologies, such as low-frequency radars and AI-driven sensor networks, pose a long-term challenge to stealth platforms. The B-21 delivers the first truly scalable advanced stealth strike capability on record. Earlier, U.S. advantages were vulnerable to sheer numbers, geography, or rivals adapting technology. The B-21 opens a capability gap that won't be closed quickly. Building true stealth bombers demands decades of research, specialized materials, precision manufacturing, and massive capital. The B-21's ability to operate globally without forward basing neutralizes traditional anti-access strategies, which rely on targeting fixed bases or predictable flight paths. Its modular design ensures that it can incorporate new technologies, such as advanced sensors or electronic warfare systems, keeping it relevant through the 2050s and beyond. The B-21 Raider isn't just another bomber. It leverages cutting-edge technology and operates at truly global scale. For the first time since the start of the missile era, the United States is set to field a strategic weapon system that rivals can't blunt with sheer numbers, geography, or defensive positioning. The B-21 is in operational testing now, setting up late the 2020 service at numbers that make it a true strategic asset. One platform able to strike anywhere, anytime, with no reliable countermeasures proven. Engineered to outlast, adapt faster, and overmatch every rival for generations. The B-21's impact extends beyond its immediate capabilities, reshaping the broader landscape of global air power. Its ability to operate as a networked platform, integrating with other assets in real time, sets a new standard for strategic bombers. By combining stealth, range, and adaptability, it ensures the U.S. maintains a decisive edge in an era of great power competition. As Russia and China continue to develop their own platforms, they face not only a technological gap, but also a doctrinal one, as the B-21 redefines how bombers contribute to multi-domain operations. The U.S. Air Force's investment in this platform signals a long-term commitment to maintaining air superiority, ensuring that the B-21 remains a linchpin of national security for decades to come. What do you think about this B-21 aircraft? How will it change air combat? Leave a comment below so we can discuss. Also, leave a like and subscribe to the channel to watch the latest videos. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.